Chingona is a badass in all aspects of life. So whether they are a badass at work, at home, on a bike, on anything, they are a badass just at life. There's usually a negative connotation when it comes to the word chingona, that for a female it's derogatory. But if you're a male counterpart and you're a chingon, that means you're a badass. And so growing up, if somebody called you a chingona, that means you were like a nuisance or just a pain in the ass. So Mechella and I wanted to flip the script and, you know, and take ownership of that and make it a positive thing.
So the Tour de las Chingonas is a bike ride for women specifically, and it is LGBTQA plus friendly. It is a bike ride that it is not a race. It is a community-based kind of idea. So it's a tour. It's a fun day where you can ride any distance that you like. It's 10, 20, 40, 65 miles. And we just go out, have fun, and we want to see more women on bikes.
Please, please, please understand that we're doing this to make it accessible for women. We're not doing it with the intent to leave you out. The intent is to get more women on bikes.
Good morning. So we're touring the south side of San Antonio, which is a lot of places we don't get to ride to a lot. And they open it up for us, and it's really nice to see a lot of just the scenery out there and the landscape. It's pretty nice out there. Since it's a tour, there's no really first, second, and third place, so there's no winners and stuff. And I think just seeing what you can do on a bike and how far you can push yourself. Because like I said, last year was that was the longest I had ever ridden on my bike.
But we feel 100% confident in all of our routes, not just the 40, the 65. It's very beautiful once you get out to the country roads. There's some bumpiness because, you know, some of them are country roads, but, you know, there's things that we can't control that, you know, we can only control so much. So we've controlled all those variables that we can control.
I thought Jessica was...
Pay attention to the signs, because that's the most important thing. Because I know a couple people passed it the last time, and they put little marks on the floor. You have to look out, look down, make sure you're going the right way, because each one is laid out. So that's key to Chingona, like right there.
There is a Chingona helpline, so we established a Google number where Chingona helpline. So if a Chingona is on the race and they're like, hey, I think I missed the turn, which could happen, but you know, you really have to miss a sign, because we have yard signs at every single turn because we want to make it beginner friendly. So we have a yard sign with turn arrows so that you don't miss a turn. But if it happens that you miss a turn or you want to know, I don't know, something, you can call the Chingona helpline and somebody will pick up the phone and let you know where you're at. Yes, you have an aid station X amount of miles from you, or no, you missed the turn, you have to go back.
I used a fixed gear bike last year. I used a Throne, a red Throne. And it was a little bit, you know, of an obstacle for me, like being set, it was just a fixed gear and going up and down on it. But I got used to it. I started riding with it. I started having fun. And I finished, and that was the most important thing to me. So
I did it fixed, no brakes, no straps or clips. My seat fell off on the last stop. So yeah, that was crazy. They tightened that sucker up, and then I rode the rest of the way.
So our bike ride is 100% supported. We have amazing SAG support. We have Right Away Bicycles has been a 100% partner from day one when we walked into their bike shop. They were amazing from the get-go.
So that's why, and then also...
Just make sure that you can endure being on a bike for at least an hour or so. Last year was kind of crazy because there was weather that we didn't expect and we weren't prepared for that. Making sure that your tires are the right pressure and everything's ready to go for all elements of weather is important too.
definitely say, you know, train a little bit right before the ride, you know, get yourself a little comfortable with your seat, because that's most important, like, to ride on that Chingona ride. So it's just kind of making sure you're good on that part.
Make sure to check the weather beforehand, wear layers if you have to, be ready for all the elements, because it's gonna change. You're gonna be out there for a few hours, and the morning's gonna be one thing, and by the time you're done, it's gonna be a whole different day.
The other tip that we would have is just be comfortable on your bike. Like, make sure that you ride your bike before event day. Get it checked out to make sure everything's fine with it, at least a week before the ride.
I think Alexis is taking all of that.
Alexis got the sack.
Speaking from experience of going from different rides, or different group rides around town, from women-led rides to women-only rides to predominantly men rides, the women-led and women-only rides for me is just completely amazing. It is so encouraging to see everyone and anyone saying like, oh, you can do it, okay, come on, you can do it. And then it's not just like, oh, you need to shift your gears, but like you can push yourself to a limit where you didn't know was possible.
We just want you to, you know, be able to have access to an organized event. So our price point is cheaper than any bike ride that you'll come across. Our early bird pricing is $26, and they get a swag bag, so they get an event shirt. We don't do medals because we want to be a green event as well, so we don't do medals. So we do finisher glass, so that is something that people can use later on, and then we try to be as green as possible. So we decided we can do that for a $26 price point. It was $25, it went up this year, and so we started at $26, and even with our late registration, which we have right now, $50 is what you'll pay to be able to participate, because we're so close to the race day. So we have a website.
TourDeLasChingonas.com.
Yes. So if you go to TourDeLasChingonas.com, there's a registration link, and that will send you to the bike reg site. If you wanted to sign up for a volunteer, or maybe you have male counterparts that want to help out, they can go to that same link and register as a volunteer. So we hit 800 registered participants last year. And so this year our goal is to get 1,000. We are very close to getting 1,000. We are under 200 to get to 1,000. We're at 800. What did I tell you the last number?
880?
880, I think, is our last number. So we are so close to hitting 1,000, and we are stoked. And because we are so detail oriented, this is like, I'm losing sleep over this because Mechella and I want this to be an accessible ride, but to be an amazing experience for everybody.